gasser. These things were so popular back in the day. When you go to the drag strip, this is really all you saw. Nowadays, it's pretty much just Fox bodies. But man, I love these cars so much. And this one in particular, I really appreciate. Glenn, who built this, drives this thing all the time. He's done so many power tours, so this thing is a real driver. Glenn, first off, tell us a little bit about the history of the car and what inspired you to even build this thing, because as your shirt says, it's built, not bought.
I'll go back with what inspired me, and thank you, Austin, I appreciate it. I'm Glenn Fiorello, and I built my first gasser in 1971. Painted with an old Craftsman spray gun, had more orange peel than an orange grove. Believe it or not, I painted it green and a silver. And 7 guys liked the car more than me, and they stole it. And that was the end of that story. Then I said, when I retire, I'm going to build some more. So I built another one, same color. The other one had a tunnel ram, and went on power tours with it. And some nice gentlemen wanted to buy it. Price was right. We became friends. I sold it to them. So this is my third gasser. They're all green and silver. I don't know why those colors, but they're all green and silver. That inspiration to get to still do these things. I think it's the American dream. You work hard, save your money, retire, you can have fun. I started with a body from here back, no frame, and it took a little over 2 years to build this car. And there's a lot of hand fabrication in this, and it is very streetable. I'll be leaving in a couple of days for Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's been on 4 hot rod power tours, completed them. The fellowship is phenomenal. You can have a Volkswagen with fuzzy dice and one hubcap missing, and if you think it's a hot rod, it's a hot rod. It doesn't matter. The experiences will last a lifetime. And you're keeping hot rod hobby alive. I can't say enough about the friends I've made along the way on these events. Power tour, you name it. So yeah, some people build them to look at, and that's fine. Some people build them to race. Like your dad, that's fine. Mine is to go traveling with it.
I think that's really cool because with these cars specifically, they are known for the drag racing era. I mean, people see this driving down the road. That doesn't happen very often. So it's cool that you're able to drive them not just around town, but really across the country. Your grill is a little bit different than normal. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. This came out of an early model Corvette. And back in the day, if you had either a lot of money or some connection somehow, you ended up getting one of these grills. And of course, I never had one like that. So I thought, it's going in here, you make your own brackets. There's like 3 or 4 brackets in here, holds the grill. It's just something to set it off. And it was like almost a status symbol back in the day. Gassers were notorious for having straight axles. They might have come out of a Conline van or whatever. And I always wanted to have one that was fabricated as an I-beam. Now with the holes that were drilled in it, and then they've been mortised, that's called the web. One on top and one on the bottom is called a flange. Phenomenal guy, Dallas Maynard. He is without a doubt the best that I've ever seen. Told him what I wanted. He built it for me, and I believe his wife did most of the welding on this.
Oh, wow.
I've been in really rough roads with this car. It's handled very well. So that's a one-of-a-kind axle. I've never seen something like this. The rear is a Dana 60 on this car. It's got 456 gears, and you travel on the interstate with 456 gears? Yes, I do. It's got a Tremec 6-speed. See, you didn't think I could count. So you've got 2 overdrives. It shifts like butter. 73 miles an hour on the interstate is right around 2,200 RPM. That's with the air conditioning on. The car has AC. It is made for traveling. It's been backed half, so the frame was cut off in the back. And the coilovers are QA1, and what nice people. I met them on the Hot Rod Power Tour. No problems with their shocks whatsoever.
Well, let's go ahead and lift up the hood so we can check out the motor in this thing.
Now it's nice and dirty.
It's a big blower on there. Tell us a little bit about what you're rocking.
Okay, I'm gonna drop another name. The gentleman who built this motor for me is a head machinist. He assembles engines in their shop. He's a welder, he's a fabricator, and a painter.
Wow.
And over the years, we would always debate, no, I think it should be this way. If he was to say, candy is good and sweet, I said, no, it's probably sour. I'd fight him on everything. This motor, I said, it's up to you. What do you want? He asked me one question. What do you want? Small block. So it's got a brand new Dart block. It's a 327. We were talking, and he said, what are you going to do this there? Well, we could go with a blower. So it has a blower, and yes, it is addicted to gasoline. It's got 2 Hollies. It's really designed for the best fuel mileage I can get, and around town it gets like this much per gallon, and on the interstate it gets 9.
And honestly, when you look at this, the first thing you think of, how loud is it going to be? Surprisingly enough, it's really not that loud. So tell us a little bit about the exhaust setup that you have going on.
Well, the first set of headers, I did a mock-up, a terrible mock-up, but I did a mock-up. I'm not a welder. And they were similar configuration to this, 1 5/8 tubes, and had Corvette side pipes. I could never really find any baffles that were quiet enough. And Vicky and I drove 2 hot rod power tours, and it was deafening. You drive 5 miles with open headers, you're ready to pull off the side of the road. Try driving 2,500, 3,000 miles with a car like that. So these I've tried to make them as quiet as I can.
We kind of know that experience. Me and my dad, we did Sick Week, and that was like 1,000+ miles, and his car was open headers, and oh my gosh, it was just drowning. We couldn't even talk to each other. We're just like, he'd say something or I'd say something. We're like, what? So we just had to sit in silence basically the whole trip.
Well, what you said is something I enjoy hearing, my dad and I. It is the neatest part of this hobby. There was a young boy, about this tall, and he's talking to me, asking me questions about my car. So I'm answering his questions, and there's a man smiling to my left, finally. But he says, you spoke to my son one other time someplace. Guess what is in my shop when you go there? I said, I have no idea, sir. He says, I picture your car with my son standing next to it. That makes this hobby worthwhile.
100%.
A father and son. That he would put something that came out of my little garage over here, a picture of it in a body shop. That's a compliment.
That's really cool. I love hearing stories like that. And honestly, we're kind of the same. We want to keep this industry going, and that's kind of why I make these videos, just to inspire people to keep building these and just keep the classic car culture alive. And even with my dad, when we're at the drag strip and there's a kid that loves the car, like my dad will offer them to sit in it and he'll start it up for them. Just, you know, they got to get the bug somehow, and we got to keep this stuff alive. So that's cool that everybody's just trying to, you know, do their part in that. So moving over to the exterior a little bit, tell us about the wheels and tire setup. My dad's got a similar setup on his Maverick, so this is a cool feeling to kind of see this. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, a lot of us didn't have these kind of wheels back when we originally were into gassers, but there's a company, you get them the dimensions, and they've got an assortment of different wheel styles. So one of these for the old look on the front. Now, I don't know too many people ran around with wheels and tires back in the day like that, and that was one of the problems with gassers. See, we could never really get good traction. The rubber compound was a little hard. So me personally, I thought, well, if you lift the front end, that puts more weight on the back wheels, you get traction. The problem was the cars got squirrely going down the road, so that really wasn't a good idea, but the compounds today, we don't have that problem. So that's the front, it has Willwood brakes. Of course, it has the typical fender well headers, and the mufflers are hidden underneath the car. Underneath, it's all painted almost like a red iron color for structural buildings. You can see the rear end had to be narrowed because that's where she starts, and tires clear pretty good. And the same gentleman made those wheels, made these for me also.
Okay, so the wheels are completely custom.
They're completely custom.
What are the size of the tires? Because them things are looking beefy.
Everybody asked me that, and I had to bend down, and then I was going to forget. They're bias ply, and that is a story in and of itself. I've got radials on the front, bias ply on the back. This tag says it all right here. Real gassers have 3 pedals. To each his own, but if you recall, 60 years ago, there was only 2-door cars. Some were posts, some were not, and they were all stick shift. Might have been 3 in a column, but they were standard transmission, most of them.
Jumping into the interior, what are the seats out of?
This is probably a sin. They're out of a Volkswagen.
Oh.
I think it was a Golf.
Okay.
And what I did is I went through salvage yard. That's what we did back then. And when people put bucket seats in them originally, they came up to about to here. They had a headrest and everything with them. This is called the belt line on these cars. So I tried to get as close to that. What I did is I took 5 inches out of the center here, welded it all back up, found a young man that was able to do these seats, and yes, they're white, and yes, they're hard to keep clean. They're very comfortable. I mean, you can see the way they're made. It was worth my time to do that, it really was. Because I wanted buckets, because if you notice, there's a console here. It came out of a 63 Chevrolet Super Sport. It's in sections. There's a console that opens up here. The dash is painted metal flake. The package tray, which we call in the back, that's the metal flake. And when I travel on big trips, I have to cover them with a cloth, because the glare, if it hits you, so I usually cover that. And the garnish moldings, which is this right here, they're all metal flaked. Oh, you cannot find a green that matches this in material. And you can't find a silver that matches the material. So what we did is, on the internet, I found a gentleman who makes these panels. And of course, you've got to do a lot of modifying to get, to work. And so we painted it the same color as the exterior.
And then I see your steering wheel has got that metal flake on there. That's pretty sweet. I love it when it's like that. Is that the original? Because it looks a little bit smaller.
Yes, this is downsized. I hid the AC vents, might not have been kosher. Right here in the dash, I drilled a hole, and there's a vent there. There used to be a clock back there. There was no clock, so I put the other vent there to try to hide it. It'll freeze you in the car, it really will. It does a good job.
And then as far as the gauges go, what do you have as far as that? Because those don't look original.
No, this is the modern thing of the car. This is Dakota Digital. It is really neat. Let me see something real quick, how many miles I've got on this thing. Okay, 33,400. It's right, it's a little more than that. It's almost 34,000 miles. It works perfectly. And a neat feature, which I didn't realize, when you're going down the road, when you're running low on fuel, a little light will come on and it says low fuel. I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot with this car.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, this is awesome, man. I'm super excited to ride in this thing. So I say we'll get a camera in there and we'll go for a cruise.
You got it, boss.
All right, let's do it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You take a picture of a guy taking a picture. Look at this, they're stopping traffic.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure this car gets a ton of attention, huh?
It seems to, because a lot of people can relate, like that guy maybe can relate to a gasser, what that era.
For sure.
And there were two things that if you were a parent, you didn't want a guy picking your daughter up on a date. They had a gasser, which was loud, they could hear, mufflers were an option. They could hear us, or if you pulled up on a Harley. Either one of those they like, and that's all I owned.
Yeah. That's got to make you feel pretty good, though. Something that you built yourself, people just seem to love it and gravitate to it.
It is amazing. Yes, it is a nice compliment. But it breaks down like any other vehicle.
Yeah. It's crazy how these things like handle, you know, it's like,
look at this.
That's pretty great. Yes, it's got its little bit of, you know,
a little bit of roll
to it, but I mean, it's a gasser. It's not a...
It didn't come off an assembly line. No engineer put it together.
Exactly. Sounds good. Do you know what horsepower-wise it
I'm going
makes?
to say maybe 6 1/4, because the man who built the motor, he has the exact same one in a '62 Corvette.
Okay.
And so he went through all that with it. It's about 6 1/4.
What do you think you want to do with your next build? Is it going to be another gasser? Do you want to do a 55 again or something else?
I do another 55 because I've learned a lot over this one and the last one. Fabricate a straight axle, but I'll do something different, have something done different on it.
Would you still do it green and silver like your other ones?
Well, Vicky wants red and silver.
Ooh, that would be nice.
And yeah, it would pop out.
It's funny, looking at this car, practically you don't think you could drive 3,000 miles or go on a power tour or do whatever, but after riding along in it, I could do it. I could definitely see it, I can do it for sure. Plus, it would just be fun getting all the reactions from people and seeing it, you know? It's probably non-stop.
When I was in West Virginia, going to Ohio, in the mountains in the rain, you know, we're from Florida, it's flat land. People would pull off, they would pass me, give me a thumbs up, they pull up where the next traffic light is, let's say in the mountains, and stand there taking pictures of the car. And then when I went to the drag strip summit in Ohio, the guy says, look, I took pictures of you driving by in the car. And he was a hot rodder.
That's so cool. Alrighty guys, that's the end of this video. Glenn, I appreciate you taking the time and doing this with me. It's been really fun. I know that the car is for sale, so if anyone is interested in getting this thing, because I know you have some plans to maybe build another one, how can they get in contact with you?
I'll give you my email address.
Perfect. And yeah, so if you guys are interested, I'll also put that in the description below and you can get this awesome gasser. But again, I appreciate you doing this with me. Guys, if you like this content, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.